So if you're a loan officer, you and I need to have a little heart-to-heart conversation. Hi, my name's Eddie Sprouse, and I'm with MTS Mortgage, which is my brand, empowered by Nexa Mortgage. So the reason I'm coming to you is because I have been an LO on and off since 2020. And when I got back into lending for the second time in 2017, the company I was with at the time, and we're not going to mention company names here other than Nexa Mortgage, that mortgage, the company I was with in 2017 was paying around 90 bips to the loan officer for self-generated loans, right? Unless it was less if it was a company generated contact. And there was even other ways that you could lose some of your pay depending on how the lead came to you. And I honestly thought that was pretty good. I didn't know any better. I soon went from that company to another company where they started me out at 125 bips. And that was much better. I felt like I hit the lottery. And I love this company. I was with them for many years. I still love these people. They're great people. The problem is, I always was struggling because, I gave up the majority of the money that I feel like now, looking back on it, was due to me to pay for, processors and underwriting and all the other things that the company should have been paying for. It was coming out of my pay one way or the other. It might not look that way on paper, but that's exactly what was going on. So I left that company for a little while and I joined a friend of mine and we went in together as mortgage brokers. The compensation shot way up to about 200 basis points, which was great, but I had to pay for everything out of 200 basis points. That wasn't great. And my friend and I, we ended up going to different companies. So I went back into basically what was correspondent lending and back to 125 basis points. And, again, it was a struggle. It really was a struggle because that's just not a lot of money for the effort you're putting in. And stayed with them for a little while longer. And then I moved over to another company who, again, I could set my compensation where I wanted to be, but to have competitive rates, I had to stay around 125 basis points, or I'd end up having to pay, or my clients would have to pay a higher rate, which I did not want. So just recently, looking at the compensation, how it all broke down, I thought, man, I am spending all this time and energy making other people rich, literally, putting money in their hands and taking very little for myself. And if there was that company owned a real estate company firm as well. If I was helping out their realtor, I had to give up 75 basis points. No, I'm sorry, 50 basis points. So I was down to like 75 basis points. And, the incentives were flowing the wrong direction. So if you're an LO, think about your compensation. Think about where you're at. And I know a lot of us are very loyal. It's something about our personality types. We don't change companies very often. I probably have changed more than most people have. But Nexa came to me last year and flew me to Michigan. And I met with them at UWM, United Wholesale Mortgage. And it's one of their Nexa 100 lenders, and looked at their compensation, and the bulk of the compensation goes to the LO. And you would think, well, if the bulk of the compensation is going to the LO, something's going to suffer somewhere, right? You're going to have to charge higher interest rates, or you're paying the vast majority of the money it takes to keep the operations money, to keep that side of the business running. And that's not true. It's not true at all. So the way Nexa works it, and if you want to talk to me about it, I'll be glad to talk to you about it more in depth, is Everything is based on, not everything, I shouldn't put it that way. The compensation is very good. So on most deals, the compensation is like 275 basis points. 55 of that goes to keeping the business going. It goes to the ledger side of your business. 220 basis points goes to you as your compensation, which is really good. And, I find I can close half the deals and still make the same amount of money. That's great. But here's the best part. The rates rock. If I have a client that comes to me and they feel like they've got a better deal somewhere else, they probably don't. They probably don't. And the big thing is they don't have me. And you're probably a lot like me. You probably build great relationships with your clients. So if they go somewhere else, they're not going to have you either. So if that's your attitude and you feel like that you have been paying the bulk of the cost of running your local mortgage business and getting paid very little compensation for it, I'd love to talk to you. It took me almost a year to decide to join Nexa. I really wanted to, do my research and try to figure out, is it everything it's cut out to be? And my only regret so far is I didn't do it sooner. Come join me. At least let's start a conversation. My contact information is down here below. You can go to my website. You'll find all my information where you can get in touch with me. And let's talk about this in detail. And let's put you on the track to winning more deals, to helping more clients, while at the same time putting more money in your pocket. Have a great day, and God bless you.